Welcome. In this video, we will dive into one of the coolest features of JavaScript, web workers. If you are familiar with JavaScript, you would already know that it is a single-threaded language which can lead to performance bottlenecks. Web workers solve that problem, enabling us to run background tasks without blocking the main thread. Now, let us see how it works. But before that, let us first understand what web workers are. Web workers are JavaScripts running in the background. To simply put it, they are JavaScript threads that run separate from the main thread. They are completely independent from the main thread. This means that they can perform tasks like data processing or API calls without freezing up the user interface. This is especially useful in web applications where performance and responsiveness are the key. Now, why use web workers? If we'll go by the points, it prevents UI freezing during heavy computation. It improves performance of long running tasks. It enhances user experience in resource intensive applications. Imagine you are building a web app that performs complex computations or handles large data set. Without web workers, the main thread could get bogged and it can just cause the UI to freeze or lag. By offloading tasks to web workers, we can keep the app responsive, ensuring a smooth user experience. Now, how this web worker actually works? Um, First, the main thread creates a worker using the worker constructor and then it points to a JavaScript file. This script on the worker's this script basically runs on the worker's own thread, independent of the main thread. To send data back and forth, we use post message to send the data to the worker and on message to receive data from it. This is the basis of communication between the main thread and the worker thread. So you can say that the overall communication happens only by post message and on message. That is how they communicate. Otherwise, they are two separate entities. Now, in our main file, where we want to use the worker or we want to offload certain code to the worker, what we can do is we can create a new instance of this worker and then we can do worker.post message and we can just send our message or our data to the worker file for further computation, and in our worker file we will receive this message using on message. We can process the data here, play with the data here basically, and whatever the results are we can post the message from here, and this message which is posted from worker.js comes back in the main file in worker.onMessage, and here we can just extract the data and do whatever we want to do with it. So yep, that is how it works. Now, worker limitations. There are certain limitations that comes with workers. One of the major limitation is they don't have access to the DOM element. They don't share memory with the main thread, so communication is only via message passing, which you have seen. It's post message and on message, and only serialized data can be shared via post message and on message. Um, so there are certain limited to the API access as well. There won't be any Windows object available in worker.js. Um, So yep, that's also a challenge. Error handling. So error handling in workers is different. If an error occurs in the worker file, it won't throw directly in the main thread. Instead, you need to set up an on error handler to catch any issues. Inside the worker, you can also use try and catch block to handle errors locally, but again you have to rely on post message to send this error message to the main thread. Use cases of worker. So web workers can be used in many applications. Some of the places where web workers are highly effective is image processing, long running calculations, data visualization, file upload and downloads. Uh, to sum up, web workers are an essential tool for improving performance in JavaScript application. They allow you to run tasks in the background, keeping your app responsive and user friendly. Just keep in mind the limitations, especially when working with the DOM. I hope this introduction has helped you understand the basics of web workers. Thank you for watching.